Hello and welcome to Laguna Seca. My name is Andrej Rajkovic. I will take you one lap around the track and maybe it will help you finding some time at Laguna. Going into the last corner, taking as much speed into the start-finish line is key for a good lap. Push it hard, up the gears. Go as much as you can to the left wall while going over the crest and drop immediately afterwards to the right. Braking at the white line just before the 3 marker, aiming into an early apex, try to avoid the sausage curbs, maintain your speed through both corners. Next corner in 4th gear, trying to get on throttle as early as you can, carry a good amount of speed through T5. Up to 6th gear, braking just before the 2 board and keeping a very tight line using the banking. Next corner is very tricky, you really need to maximize your exit speed here by early on throttle and keep the speed up. Heading into the corkscrew, over the crest, hard braking zone, lift a little bit over the crest, then do not release completely on throttle, stay on throttle, early on the throttle again, and full throttle through the next corners. Just a little lift, 5th gear, on throttle again, into the last corner. Hard braking zone at the 2 board, into the 1st gear, early on the gas, push it hard, maximize the speed and finish your lap. This was a 1:15.389 and there's always some improvement, but I think it's a solid lap to start with and maybe it will help you. So have fun guys and see you all on Saturday. Bye.
Many people have thought that this was going to be a difficult championship, and it's proving to be so at this moment in time. 4 drivers find themselves within 1 win's distance at round 9 of the championship, the second half of the season starting here with IR Esports and Indian eRacing Championship. Apologies if you haven't heard anything that has been going on earlier on. My name's Jake Sperry here, bringing you the action here today, brought to you, of course, by the Mumbai Falcons Racing Limited and Volkswagen Motorsport India. We are #GamerConnect, of course, for this one. Mumbai Falcons Racing Limited are an Indian brand passionate about promoting motorsport in India. Mumbai Falcons are undertaking several initiatives to innovate and positively impact the entire motorsports ecosystem and its related facilities. Their overall vision is to develop supporting projects which impact motorsport and next generation automotive development. Mumbai Falcons envisage to build a futuristic hub aided by a racetrack which will serve as a multi-platform environment for innovative auto-related companies, provide educational excellence in a plethora of related fields and provide for a wholesome family experience. Volkswagen Motorsport, on the other hand, they launched the Polo Cup in 2010, marking their entrance into Indian motorsport. Their aim was to provide a platform for young drivers to begin professional racing and display their skills on a national level, which since then they have produced many race drivers who have progressed to race internationally. So they'll be looking to try and get themselves exactly where they need to here in this a very aggressive qualifying session we've got at the moment. The times are coming in. Abdul Fatah has just gone to 2nd position. First real time that we've seen Abdul Fatah in this one, but it is Mohammed Ibrahim at the front, at the top of the timing stands by an eye-watering 0.6 of a second. But this has been a difficult practice into a difficult qualifying, some would say, for Mohammed Ibrahim. It hasn't been flowing, it hasn't been the smoothest from him, and knowing that he's got to claw only 4 points to the championship leader Sai Prithvi, it's going to be about staying on the island over 20 minutes worth of action, and everything's going to be crucial. Something else that's crucial to talk about right now is the fact that Mohammed Ibrahim could be getting 2 championship points for a pole position right now. 54 points maximum on offer here in the opening race here on Saturday. Moving over to Sunday, there are only 52 points available with the inverted reverse grid sprint that will be coming up. There is Sai Prithvi in 4th place, and it may just have to be a case of damage limitation, but we've seen it so many times over the course of this season. Amit Kuti, third in the championship, 21 points off of the race leader right now, or the championship leader I should say. He is one position ahead of Sai Prithvi. That will be closing down the gap ever so slightly, and actually does just drop down now into fourth position because Sai Prithvi has just jumped ahead by about 300 ahead of Amit Kuti, who remains now in third place. And the driver in fourth position in the championship, that is Niranjan Kumar, who in the last 5 races has finished either fourth or fifth place, and that includes reverse grids as well. So Niranjan Kumar may be well placed for this one. It's currently 6th position in qualifying, which is just about to find expiry. Drivers are going to be able to finish the laps that they have started, but very, very quickly, we're going to step away for one moment, back with more after this. Everyone giving it all that they can as they try to drive on through over the line. It seems like drivers have found some good times. Sai Saran has done well. Raiden Samaravel up into 6th position. He's right on the cusp of that top 6 in 6th place. So that's a very, very good qualifying time. Niranjan Kumar's looking for improvement. A 1:16.830 is enough to remain in that 6th place and just hold on to things for the moment. In terms of how this grid will then stack up, it will be Mohamed Ibrahim on pole position, Sai Prithvi 2nd and Amit Kuti 3rd. Abdul Fattah starts in 4th position with Sai Saran 5th, Niranjan Kumar 6th, Raiden Samaravel in 7th, and Solil Shal in 8th place. Then it's Ujwal Belwaria and Sai Sanjay rounding out the top 10. First start of the season for Sai Sanjay. Raghav Budiraja with Rohit Raut. Then it's Kaushik Mohan Raja and Banu Teja after missing both rounds at Daytona, back in 14th position. Siddharth Medarata and B. Cabin make row 8 with Pratimesh Yedra and Oshan Kotadia, winner last time out, starting down in 18th. Then you've got Divyang Dodia, Karan Kaushik, and then Vishwas Vijayaraj there in 21st with Ankit Roy in 22nd. 2 drivers did not set qualifying times or practice times for that matter of fact, and those are Swaraj Yadav and Chetan Karada. But race comes up very, very shortly here with more after this. Okay. Well, it's all about who can find what they need. There is the confirmation of where drivers are on the grid. Your top 3 in the championship, 1, 2, and 3. Although there is a reversal a little bit for Mohamed Ibrahim, who has now cut the gap in the championship lead in half after taking pole position. It's now 2 points, the margin, of course, with 50 points on offer for a race win here in this season. It means that whoever's finishing ahead is going to take the championship lead into the reverse grid race tomorrow. There's the green flag, there's the go. 20 minutes on the clock and a good start by Mohamed Ibrahim as they rush through the small kick left of 1 in towards turn number 2. Who's got the better line as they jam on the brakes through? Prithvi was looking around the outside and that decided to leave the door open. Prithvi goes around. Championship leader in trouble then going through. We didn't quite catch what's happened from behind, but it looks like a slew of drivers have run themselves into trouble. There were 2 separate spins there as we catch the replay of it, and one other driver getting caught up with Sai Prithvi, not part of the plan at all there with that one off the beginning. Like Kaushik Maharajah as well, still going around in the early goings of things, but we remain green for the time being. And Mohammed Ibrahim's there. No, we do have the caution flag out then. So out of this race already. Sai Sanjay is down there in the pits. Maharajah struggling out there a little bit, but ultimately it is a caution to start then over the course of this race. Now, who has been the big gainers, the big winners, and the big losers over the start of things right now? Mohammed Ibrahim does lead this one outright at the moment, and is doing a really good job of things to be leading this race, but it is crucial about who is in the second position right now as far as things look, as drivers start to get on through. They can see Saeed Saran has jumped up now into the second place here at this stage with the likes of third place. They just crossed the line right. Sam Ravel now starts to make some good progress in third. Naranjan Kumar is fourth, and Ujwal Belwaria is now up into the fifth position. So now there are questions to be had on who is now out of position at this stage. Cyprus being down in 13th place. Not much of Abdul Qatar, who's down in 12th. And now you start to wonder, where is the likes of, say, Amit Kuti? Not the best run of things, is down in 8th place. So Mohammed Ibrahim will be gaining major points here in terms of how this one is going to all stack out. What is key and crucial about how this race is going to be looking here as we find ourselves underneath the caution for the first time here in this event is that all of this safety car running here behind the Porsche iRacing first safety car is going to mean that what we see is that drivers are going to be looking at their positions going, well, we're running out of time over these 20 minutes because a good chunk of it is going to be taken out here by drivers just running here and trying to keep the tyres up to temperature. We are in the middle of a build week, some would say, here on the iRacing service, so a lot of drivers are going to be trying to work out, okay, is the car any different? Does it feel different to what we had? And are we having a good run? Someone who is having a good run, Bardu Tasia there in 7th place, will be very happy being up the order. Amit Kuti there in 8th place for the time being, but time of the essence. Other drivers who have made some great progress. Oshan Kokadia, who is down in 18th place, mind you, in qualifying, is now up into 9th, and crucially inside that top 12 reversal, which is where Sai Prithvi is on the outside looking into at this moment in time. A lot of drivers searching for what they need over the course of this, but we always thought that Laguna Seca was going to be a difficult track for the opening stages here of these races, and maybe, just maybe, things are going to work. Now, this is interesting. A couple of drivers are diving down into the pits. Sai Prithvi is one of them who is going to try and repair some damage and get that availability to do so at this stage. For those who do not understand, there is a fast repair that is available. You're allowed as many as you like here in this series, and as such, if you do pick up some damage, you can just dive down into the pits, get a little bit of repairs, and get back out and going again. So we'll keep focus on that as drivers look to try and work out whether they are best placed at the moment to get the result that's needed. Mohammed Ibrahim in control at the front of the pack behind the iRacing Porsche first safety car at this stage, with the lights off on top of it right now. So that is going to mean that they are going to be looking to get themselves going back to green flag running this time by. A couple of drivers have picked up a couple of penalties out there. Sai Prithvi and Sahil Shah, I believe, for overtaking under yellow flag conditions, trying to get into the pit. So they might have to be sitting and waiting a little bit, rushing to get onto the back of these drivers. But also it's worth noting about where Naranjan Kumar is in this field. He's 4th position right now, and he could be continuing his run of 4th or 5th place finishes at this moment in time. If things do work out the way that they need to at this moment in time. So Mohammed Ibrahim in control of the field, taking the rise here towards the dreaded corkscrew corner out on circuit, and that corner is an 11-story drop, which is always very scary if you fall down 11 flights of stairs back home wherever you may be. So now these drivers will understand what do they have to do. So they've go through the rainy curve and look towards turns 11 and 12, they will see that safety car dive and peel off into the pits. The field will be under the control of Mohammed Ibrahim, and we will be moving back some more green flag running here with time starting to just tick down into the pits comes the safety car. Let's get ourselves back to some racing action here around this fantastic circuit, and through the final left hand, Mohammed Ibrahim gets on the gas and goes immediately, then getting back onto the action that we have at the moment and running forward with everything possible at this stage here, and getting a good gap over Saeed Saran there in second position. There is Narajan Kumar in fourth, because it's single file through the first 5 drivers, all funneling their way through the early stage. A little bit of battling there for Amit Kuti and co. This is Banu Teja just dropping back the position, then struggling a little bit with blinking. Of course, the connection not ideal, so that's Contadilla through, but had just run ever so slightly wide. They remain too wide then as they go through turn 4, and Contadilla will be looking really scared there with the blinking Banu Teja, which will definitely not be helping out with things at all. It's all clean at the front of the field, so they start to move on further forward. Mohammed Ibrahim is happy with things at the moment at the front. You don't have to worry, you don't have to do too much about things right now. Saeed Saran is quite nicely there in second position, which is now effectively third, as we see on the graphic, because somebody is down on pit lane with troubles. It looks like it's B. Cabin and Kaushik Maharajah who are both in the pits, and Cabin's got 2 tyres missing then in terms of the car. So that is definitely not part of the plan. We catch it on replay here. This is where Cabin ran into troubles, then up the hill to the corkscrew, 3 wide. Oh, huge little bump there going through, and he's lucky he's not taking anyone with him there with that one. Tyre to tyre, and almost getting sent up in the air after that big accident. That's not ideal. So now drivers trying to find those places. Mohammed Ibrahim doing a good job of things at the moment here at the front of this field with 12 minutes to go on the clock, leading by 2.5 seconds over Saeed Saran. Biden Samaravel is there in third place, and Narajan Kumar in fourth, but Samaravel is under pressure right now from Narajan Kumar. What about the other challengers? Sai Prithvi's back in 15th, but has fresher tyres, able to attack maybe a little bit later on in this race. And of course, you look like Amit Kuti now up into 6th place. There is Prithvi trying to find a way through on Sohil Shah. He's not finding it at the moment. There, of course, is Vivian Donia as well, to try and get into battle as well. But we've got drivers looking for predictions here. We'll see who is maybe best placed in terms of this race, and we'll see who maybe is.
So my today's race prediction will be, I guess Amit Kuti is going to be first, and Niranjan and Raghav going to push more, and no doubt Ibrahim and Sai Prithvi are always going to be there, and yeah, I'll try to catch them as well.
Well, there we can see who could maybe be best placed in terms of how this one's going to go. Prithvi still struggling here in 14th place, has to at least get inside the top 12. That will give the best possible chance for tomorrow's race, and getting every little opportunity possible right now. Heading through the right-hand bend this time, Prithvi, and looking to just put a couple of tyres there in that grass. It's not going to be too helpful at all. We are in California. There's grass, there's dirt, there's gravel, there's everything under the sun. That is Siddharth Benarata as well, looking to try and get into the party at this moment. Not quite there, looking down at the inside, turns to the outside here for turn number 2, and ultimately stays in position just for the time being as we look at the halfway stage in this race at the moment. Everybody just trying to think about, okay, what do they need? And there's a little switch to try and get to the inside. Medarata under pressure, and see you later. That is not for position there in terms of that little class. So they all deal with that one quite nicely. I think maybe drivers trying to get themselves unlapped in terms of this race at the moment. So keep an eye on this one. Vishnu Vijay Raj is looking to go through as things stand, and he's trying to get through as far as possible. maybe a lap down at this stage, but looking for more. But positions changing all the time. Amit Kuti actually has just jumped up into 5th place past Ujwal Belwaria. So that's all worked out quite nicely for Amit Kuti. So we'll see how this one's gone. I think this one's happened a long time before as we just look at things that have been going on. So Amit Kuti is going to try and get things going here as things look. It's a nice run through as we just zoom on forward here and try and see this one happen here. Trying to go around the outside, down to the inside, and that one very much in swift speed has worked out. So nicely done, but race continues. 5th place for Amit Kuti as we all see and try and listen in to see if he can find that 4th place, that little bit more. Mohammed Ibrahim, 5.2 seconds now clear at the front of the field. And let's just listen in to your race leader.
My name is Vivian. I recently came back from Canada just before this whole scenario happened, and I was a fiber planner there. I've been in love with cars since I was a kid. I think it all started back around the early 2000s when I started going out and started collecting the magazines from Autocar and Overdrive. I got a huge bunch of files to collect the magazines, read about them, take the wallpapers out of it. And I used to give those wallpapers handy everywhere I go. So yeah, been in love with cars ever since I knew about them.
Well, that is Divyang Dodia. Right now, it's Piccadilly Circus almost here in the fight for the top 10. Around the outside, almost a bit of contact there. Siddharth Federata is right in the middle of this at this moment in time, as we do have a few questions for you to answer here today. Great, fantastic prices coming up in a little bit. Siddharth Federata can't quite wait that turn number 3 questions that need to be answered are going to be in just one moment's time. As follows question 1, which effective David Darkley is final race victory? Question 2, which is Nigel Mansell World Championship? Question 3, where he was the last on screen, and unfortunately this answers on a postcard. There is a prize in the future for you, and enter something with if things go your way. There was a little mistake, and that has just promoted Siddharth Federata actually up into the top 10. So that one has worked out quite nicely. There is your race leader, Mohammed Ibrahim, who is absolutely flying at the moment at the front of the race right now. Sai Saran is there in 2nd position, and Ryden Samaravel has done very well over the course of this one to hold on to 3rd place at this stage. The big question though is how much can Amit Kuti close down, and what about Sai Prithvi in 11th position, trying everything to gain those places back as much as he can, and being in 11th, he will now be in a good place for the reverse grid feature tomorrow as we start to see how this one all plays out. So Sai Prithvi is looking for as many places as possible, runs slightly wide, but up in front is that 10th place of Federata. So it's all about, can you find the place, can you find the moment that gives you the result that you so very much need. Sai Prithvi on the recovery drives the championship leader. Now in each of the last 3 races has run into trouble in this championship, so now it might just be a cursed position or something around those lines, but now Sai Prithvi's got work to do here, diving down through the corkscrew and now going through the left-hand bend, searching for so much more here in this race. So we'll try and see if he can go up forward. It looks like he has just jumped up now to 9th place. A couple of drivers may have just run themselves into a bit of trouble then over the course of this one with the jumps up, but it looks like he is back in 11th place for the time being. So a little bit of shifting and shaking there over things, and there goes Abdul Fattah with contact there at turn number 1. The rear tyre's gone, and that's not ideal. They're going through turn 2 either for Prithvi, and that was Oshan Kompidia dropping backwards a little bit as there is Raghav Budiraja then trying to pick up the places as well, hopefully in the not too distant and future. But we are down to the final 5 minutes then here in this event. Sai Saran in 2nd, Samaravel 3rd, Kumar is on the back and forth, but there is the little switching that we can see out there on the track. Everybody trying to find places. Raghav Budiraja is going to dive down the inside and is going to take the place away, and that is for the 11th place that we have just seen. I do believe we are slightly behind on things at this moment in time, but we are going to continue here with the racing action that we've got going on out on screen for you. But Raghav Muniraja then up into 11th place, looking maybe a little bit further forward to the likes of, say, Ryan Samaravel. It looks like he's going to be under pressure and maybe dropping backwards in the not too distant future here, because look at how close this is from Niranjan Kumar wanting to try and get through. He's trying to get through every place, and I think we're just about to see something not go ideally here in terms of this. Going through the right then here of turn 4, and there you go. It goes around, goes and smacked into the wall. Ryden Samaravel from a podium position from 4th is out. And there's no other way to describe that. Is out of this race there with a big incident. There is Mohammed Ibrahim, who leads this one out right now by a very, very comfortable margin here in terms of this one. Sai Saran is now going to be promoted up into that 2nd place, and Niranjan Kumar up to 3rd. Amit Kuti in 4th, and now it is 5th position. Now it will be for Pratimesh Yedra who will be gaining those places. Every little incident is just a little bit more where I think drivers are going to be finding what they want and what they need out here on track. It's been a quiet drive at the front for Mohammed Ibrahim, and I would say it's been trademarked, but this is Sai Prithvi in 8th place, and 7th is on the horizon. It can just find a way through to gain this place all nicely wrapped up in a neat bow, maybe looking down for the inside of turn number 1. Hopefully this is going to happen. Door was very firmly shut by Mediratta through the opening couple of corners. So Sai Prithvi's got to find a way by to gain as many points as possible, but now is the question to be had. How many points can you gather back up? And there is also that case of fastest lap, which will also get points just behind Sai Prithvi. Round goes one more, and that was not part of the script there, for I believe I didn't quite catch who that was going around. So not ideal there, but a spin nevertheless. It was not what the doctor ordered over that part of the road as drivers start to search for every little thing that they can find in the final few stages of this one. There is Sai Saran at this moment in time trying to make this progress, but it looks like he has dropped a couple of places then here to Niranjan Kumar and Amit Kuti. So that would be back down to 4th place then, it would seem. We haven't quite caught what's happened there. So Niranjan Kumar is now up into 2nd position, and what damage limitation this will be for the championship. Amit Kuti there in 3rd, knows he doesn't want to be ceding too many points there to Niranjan Kumar, so would love to try and get through and back up into 2nd position. This has been a lovely drive by Amit Kuti so far as they fight nearly 15 seconds off your race lead right now, heading through turn number 5 and up the hill. Once again, Amit Kuti wants 2nd place and wants it very, very soon as they go through the next left-hand corner and try and get as much as they possibly can out of this one for the time being. Mohammed Ibrahim in front, but these two fighting for the podium right now, and if they fight too much, maybe they'll bring Saran and Yedra and co back into some form of a battle here, because these two have to be really cautious about the way they fight on a track like this, where it's very much staying on the track. Otherwise you're going to run into troubles. Heavy on the brakes from Amit Kuti into the final corner. He is starting to experiment a little bit with how do you look each which way in terms of battling this one out on circuit right now. 3 laps to go, and maybe a bit less here as we start to get towards the end of racing action. You can see that diamonded line there from one Mr. That is brilliantly done by Niranjan Kumar to keep the position going on through right now. But Amit Kuti just happy just to sit back, just happy to wait for the time being. Knows that time is of the essence at this stage, trying to pick up everything possible right now in terms of how this race is all going to form into the way this one is happening. We've also got Sai Prithvi there in 8th, just running wide, and has effectively been stuck all race long by Siddharth Mediratta here in this one, in the battle that we've got going on for 7th and 8th with championship implications right now. And actually, we got a few troubles out here on track as Ujwal Belwaria, I think, is not very happy right now, has spun the car, I believe, and has run into a bit of contact. So he'll be in a bit of trouble, as there you can see it right now, side by side, and round you go. Ujwal Belwaria, we are on the final lap. There is the contact. He was very, very angry over the radio. He couldn't believe what he just saw going through. Spin in front, tries to avoid it. Car on the inside. Nothing you can do there, Ujwal. You did all the right things, but there was just a car sticking its nose down the inside as we go back to live at this point in time with Mohammed Ibrahim up the hill for the corkscrew for the final time here in this race. It's been absolutely fantastic over the course of this one, and you can't say that it's been undeserved in terms of the way this has been driven. He is the fastest driver in terms of pure pace in this championship, and he has proven it again. He missed the first 2 rounds of the season, but he is so consistent on finding the W, because Mohammed Ibrahim wins round 9 here at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. Niranjan Kumar is going to have to hold this one all the way to the end, because look at Kuti trying around the outside for second place. Oh, a little bit of contact almost there between them as they exit the final corner, and Niranjan Kumar gets second position, a career best so far this season from Mr. Consistency. There is Saeed Saran, who had second position for most of this race, but drops it all the way back to 4th come at the end, and more drivers making progress. Maybe Sai Prithvi's got a little look for 7th and 8th as they will start to try and push over the line, but Siddharth Medarata, well, he deserves a medal for that one. That was a very spirited drive, trying to hold this one up as drivers are upside down over the start-finish line. And what a drive, actually, from Divyang Dodia into 9th position to finish off this race. And crucially, likes of Swaraj Yadav, who had to start without a qualifying time, doing well. And there's the battle as well, 11th and 12th, as that is Budaraja getting overtaken by Ujwal Belwaria. So Raghav Budaraja will have pole position for tomorrow here, finishing this one off in 12th place here in this race overall. But we can go to confirmation of results then. Mohammed Ibrahim has absolutely walked away from the field when all other contenders ran into troubles. Niranjan Kumar 2nd, 3rd position for Amit Kuti, Sai Saran 4th, and Pratimesh Yedra in 5th. Sahil Shah gets 6th with Siddharth Medarata in 7th, both holding back Sai Prithvi, who could not make progress, in 8th place. It was Divyang Dodia who got 9th, 10th place overall to Swaraj Yadav, and then Ujwal Belwaria and Raghav Budaraja making 11 and 12 here in this event. And of course, you got the likes of Vishwash Vijay Raj in 13th, Doshan Kotadia 14th, Rohit Raut, Sai Sanjay there in what is 16th place, a lap down. Ryden Samravel falling a lap down late, as did Kaushik Mohan Raja, who needed a fast repair. And then retirements, Abdul Fatah, Ankit Roy, B. Kavin, Banu Teja, Karan Kaushik, and not making the start today was Chetan Karada, as they all tried to make progress to the line. But we are going to jump in a little bit with interviews. Mohammed Ibrahim is here with us right now. And, well, Mohammed, that goes down as another one of your trademark races here in terms of Saturday drives. It seems that you are almost untouchable when it comes to the Saturday runs. And that was a case of just walk away from the front. It seems that we don't have Mohammed Ibrahim for the moment, so we'll try and jump in with him a little bit later on. We'll just move to Amit Kuti for a moment, 3rd position. Now, Amit, it all sort of went a little bit pear-shaped at the start. You dropped back to 8th position, but that was a spirited fight back through the field for a podium.
Thanks. That was I didn't do the best of qualies. My lap wasn't that great. Could have got another 3 tenths, but I messed it up on the final corner by going a bit wide, and I got an invalidation. But apart from that, in the start it was okay. Initially it was a bad launch, but then in the braking point, I think Sai Prithvi broke a bit early and went a bit wide, so I took advantage of that and went down his inside. And into turn 3, I just got a bit sidewards in the apex. Doesn't normally happen, but I didn't really expect it. So I thought there was going to be a lot of understeer there. but I just got a sudden snap and I kind of lost it. Tried to correct it, but it still kept going to the right. But after the safety car, it was a really nice comeback. I did a few moves, and at the end, it was really a nice fight with Niranjan.
Well, a really nice fight with someone who is right behind you in the championship picture. You now start to focus over towards tomorrow and how you tackle that. You'll be starting it from 10th position on the grid. How important is it to just stay out of trouble in the early stages when it comes to tomorrow's style of racing, knowing that you're going to be in a position where the mid-pack or the early to mid-pack seemingly had a couple issues early on today?
Yeah, so tomorrow's a important race. Like every race on the Sunday is quite important because that's when the faster guys start at the rear, and like I have a chance to even win the race because Abraham starts behind me most importantly. So I need to keep my nose clean, get a good start, and potentially try to get a few positions in lap one or the turn one, or the first sector, and from there I know that there are a few slower guys up front, and if I don't get any damage, then I should be able to overtake them, and potentially even if Ibrahim comes, I have track position, so I could try and defend well.
Well,
It's
before we
quite.
let you go, before we let you go, Amit, shout out sponsors, anyone you'd like to thank.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Mumbai Falcons, IR Esports, and Volkswagen for making this championship come, and for giving me the opportunity to participate here and do well.
Well, that's not an issue at all. Amit Kuti there picking up 3rd position overall. We do have this ability to get back to Mohammed Ibrahim, who I think was just a little bit waylaid ever so slightly, getting a bit more celebration in, maybe some would say. But Mohammed, that would go down as probably one of the easier victories that you've had, just mastering your way after the safety car to a gap and just not looking back.
Yeah, hello everyone. Sorry about my mic. I think my mic was not working there. Yeah, it was a good race, and yeah, it was pretty comfortable out there. Just saving my tires and cruising.
Well, saving tyres, cruising, sometimes it's just all about a quiet race and picking up points. You take the championship lead. Your main rival finishes 8th place here in this race after a spin at turn number 2. Would that be the moment where you go, yes, I now have control of my destiny at the front of this championship again after what was a very turbulent Daytona?
Yeah, yeah, it is. It's never good to. I mean, it's good for me if you see your championship rival to spin, but it's never good for them. You never want to win a championship or win a race if your rival just spins. I like winning it on merit and on pace. It's not nice when you win by if they make a big mistake or something like that.
Well, you have a habit of turning races in, let's say, for example, a win in the opening race on a Saturday to a win on Sunday as well. You have the opportunity to do so again from 12th position. Do you feel that this track is maybe going to be a little bit more difficult than others, mainly due to the fact that one small mistake could see a whole chain reaction happen and maybe a couple of safety cars again?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be more difficult than Nürburgring and Okayama, because I think those tracks were a bit wider and easier to race on. This track is definitely going to cause more safety cars and incidents. So I hope to stay out of trouble and try to win again.
Well, the floor is yours. Anyone you'd like to thank after picking up another race victory this season?
Yes, I would like to thank you, the commentators. I would like to thank Mohit Donodia, IR Esports, Volkswagen Motorsports India, Mumbai Falcons, and everyone who was involved in making this event. Thank you very much. Bye.
Well, that's Mohammed Ibrahim with a very, very important race victory, and that pretty much will put to an end our commentary, our work that we have done here today in terms of this event right now. But tomorrow is a different day, and different realities could be found as we look towards round 10 here from the WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. Anything is possible, and it could all very much run itself a completely different way, as this series has tended to do so far this season. Massive thanks, of course, go to the Mumbai Falcons Racing Limited, to Motorsport India with Volkswagen, and Game Gamer Connect here for this event right now. This has been your Indian eRacing Championship on IR Esports. And, well, Mohammed Ibrahim can have an easy time of things right now. But next race is a different race. It's always going to be one to keep an eye out on here and make sure that you're here for the journey.